while we'd done Upjohn and Park Davis and a couple of others, John Deere stands out probably for many reasons. First of all, it was in Illinois, called a home state. Second, Eero Saarinen was the architect. You could add third, John Deere was a great company. And the thing that one realized about Saarinen, not far beyond the second meeting, was that he was as much a landscape architect as he was an architect. You can't mention Saarinen without knowing John Dinkeloo. He was the guy that did all the research. He's the one that said boxcars are made with Corten steel. Yeah, you can use Corten steel to build buildings, even though it's rusty. And how that was sold to John Deere, I'll never know. But anyway, the Saarinen and Dinkeloo were genius. So basically the building, the ground floor of the building was 4 stories below the bridges that connected the corporate headquarters to the flanking buildings to both the east and west. And those flanking buildings connected to the parking beyond to the east and west. But because they were only 1 story on those east and west sides, very few people looked at parking. But everyone in the building, looking out, always looked at landscape. It was kind of one of those simple parties. When you see it, you say, my God, wouldn't everyone do exactly the same thing? And it really works. And I think that the best part, and this is talk about green design before its time, Saarinen wanted the grounds to be native Illinois grasses and only wanted maybe 20 acres to be cultivated around the upper pond. And this is the way we started. This is what we did. And so essentially we hadn't really changed the watershed that much and maintained the habitat for the critters that lived in the landscape. And it was fabulous. There's so many sidebars at John Deere, and certainly you've got to look to the chairman of the board, Bill Hewitt, a real scholar, and from all we know, a tremendous corporate leader. He was also an avid art collector. And Saarinen's office provided an incredible interior environment for all of the work, which is displayed quite simply on all of the walls within the building. There was some sculpture, but mostly small in scale, indoor scale. But one day in London, he ran into Henry Moore. Maybe it was deliberate, but decided to visit Moore's studio and selected what was called Hill Piece, and bought Hill Piece, and asked Kevin and I to come and take a look at it and take some measurements and find out a way to use it on the John. He had no idea about where the Hill Piece should go. We were saying, it's called Hill Piece, but that island is a flat little table. Why don't we put some fill on the island and make a little hill for it? And everyone's, okay, sure, let's try it. So the next day we raised the styrofoam model and bought 1,000 feet of string or whatever it was and laid little cords from the base of the piece to the edges of the island. So you built the topo with strings. We got Bill Hewitt to come down at 3 o'clock for tea instead of 4 o'clock. He got it. We were so excited, and he was ecstatic to see this piece on an artificial hill. And it was decided to do it, and it was done within about 3 months. So John Deere was planted with Stan White's overview and with Hideo's intelligence in grouping similar species together. And in fact, it looks perfectly natural as it is today. And one would think that it was just what Hideo said it would be. And I think Stan White would love it too. But John Deere has been through a number of CEOs and a number of buildings and grounds people. And Kevin and I still play a little bit of a historical reference role. With each new CEO, we give them a little bit of background about some of the stories and some of the hardships and some of the fun that we all had. and developing the project. And I think because each CEO has been informed in the beginning, they tend to be a lot more religious about the commitment to the consultants. It's been a wonderful experience, that one.